What I've been asked to do is to talk a little bit about my views on leadership, and that's born very much out of my personal experience. My career began with quite a lot of analysis and numbers. I read economics, also at the same university, I think that sounds like John went to. Then I did an MBA. I was even a bank consultant for quite a while. And this guy here, if you don't recognize him, is John Maynard Keynes, who is the sort of Michael Schumacher of economists. And I guess the combination of all of those things really emphasized to me that in business, numbers matter. And you really need to do your homework. And I think that business decisions are always a combination of analysis and judgment. And the higher you can build your analytical platform, the lower the leap of judgment that you need to make. That doesn't mean analysis paralysis. It simply means doing your homework carefully, understanding what's going on so that we can make good decisions. But having said that, I learned a lot more from this lady than I did from John Maynard Keynes. I spent 8 years working in the international textile industry, initially as a finance director, and we floated a textile company in 1990 into the teeth of the recession at the early 1990s. That certainly taught me all about cost and cash flow. I was responsible for Gossard at one point in time. And the thing about the international textile business is that we were competing with German technology, Italian design, and Chinese labor costs. And again, what that really taught me is that I think that international competition is perhaps the best business teacher, and it's certainly one of the most important drivers of performance. Now, what we have in our business is mostly local and national competition, which puts even more emphasis on us as leaders to set the bar higher and higher and higher, so that each year we're setting new standards and we're driving ourselves to achieve top-class performance in the same way that I think international competition drives international companies to do that. After the textile world, I moved on to be chief executive of a company called Lex, which was the biggest car retailer in the UK at the time. It was the biggest car leasing company. It was the biggest forklift truck servicing company. We were involved in all kinds of things. And then we eventually bought the RAC in 1999. And the RAC, in many ways, is more like Whitbread, I think, than EasyJet. The way I describe the RAC is as a service experience business, because the average member would pay £90 a year, the renewal rate was about 83%, and people would automatically, most people would automatically renew their £90, and that is very, very profitable. The critical interaction with the customer is clearly when they break down, and people are often in distress, they've got high expectations, and that service delivery is critical, and it's all done through the patrols. And the patrols are judged not just how they fix your car, but critically how they deal with customers. And we used to have an ambassador award for our best patrols, which I would give each year. And I can remember chatting to the patrols, and one of the guys said, look, I realized straight away that my job is not fixing cars, it's fixing customers. And so that real experience, and we invested a huge amount of money in the training for these patrols, because a 1% improvement in the roadside fix rate was worth millions of pounds, because it costs £35 to £40 to repair a car at the roadside. it's £150 to tow it somewhere else, and obviously the customers hate that. A small improvement in the renewal rate, a 1% improvement in the renewal rate, again, was worth tens of millions of pounds. And the key to it all was service experience. Now, moving on to EasyJet, where I guess I'm probably better known to many of you. EasyJet, I describe as a service commodity business. And the reason why I call it a service commodity is it's very price sensitive. Now, the essence of low-cost flying is that we take you from A to B on time, safely. Everything else that you want, you pay for as you use. And EasyJet flies about 50 million people. The average fare is about £48. It has a very sophisticated dynamic pricing model which recalculates the price of every flight every night, no matter how many days to go. And what the system is trying to do all the time is to push the price up. We aim for a 100% load factor, effectively 100% occupancy, and the ideal thing to do is to sell the last seat literally 2 hours before departure. But all the time, what the computer's doing is aiming for a load factor and trying to optimize the yield.